If you're buying a home in North Carolina, this video is for you. You are about to encounter two terms that often confuse people, especially moving in from another state. Those two terms are due diligence and earnest money. So, in most states, if you back out of a home purchase because of a bad inspection, you get your deposit back. But in North Carolina, things work a little different. You could potentially lose thousands of dollars just for changing your mind, even if the house has major issues. So today, I'm going to break down the North Carolina due diligence so you don't lose your shirt, AKA your house, in the process. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about due diligence, period, in North Carolina. This is what we call the pay to play, or you'll hear some realtors say you need some skin in the game. The due diligence is what gets you in the game. So in North Carolina, when your offer is accepted, you pay the seller a due diligence fee. The fee is paid directly to the seller, and the seller then takes their home off the market so you can do your due diligence. What does that mean? This is the time that you order your inspections, an appraisal is ordered, the home is finalized. If you want a survey, you can get a survey. Whatever you want to do in this 2 to 4 week time frame, that is what you do during due diligence. The golden rule, however, of due diligence is the contract says you can walk away for any reason or no reason at all during due diligence. I've had a client to wake up one day and says, I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to do it. I want to back out. Okay, that's not a problem. But this is the thing that is non refundable. Say that word with me. Come on. Non refundable. So when you walk away from a contract, that due diligence fee is what? Say it with me, non refundable. There are small, and I mean very small instances where the due diligence fee has been returned. And that is because there was a breach on the seller side of the contract. But we're not going to get into that. But because my main point of this video is to let you know it is non refundable, and it is their compensation for keeping the house off the market for you. Did that make sense? I hope so. I remember the word non-refundable, aka you don't get that back. Okay, you don't get it back. So that is due diligence in North Carolina. But let me explain something else about the due diligence. If you decide to go through with the contract, that due diligence comes off your closing costs at the end. Why? Because you've already given the credit towards the house. So, you know, if you go through with it, it's no problem. But if you back out, that comes the problem. You do not get it back. Now, let's talk about the earnest money. So, this is what is considered a good faith deposit. Okay, I'll be honest. I've done contracts where there was no earnest money given. However, it does make your offer look a whole lot better because they consider that a good faith deposit. This deposit goes to the attorney, and the attorney holds your money until closing. Now, the good thing about earnest money is, listen to this, if you back out during the due diligence, you can get your earnest money back because you backed out during due diligence. If you back out of a contract after due diligence, yeah, they don't normally give that back. So if you back out during due diligence, you can get your earnest money back. If you back out after, most of the time the seller keeps the due diligence and the earnest money. They may be gracious and release your earnest money. I don't know, but the due diligence is what? Repeat after me. Say that word. Non-refundable. Now, you might be thinking, Am I just throwing my money away? No, because like I said earlier, if you go through with it, all of this comes off at the end. It's a credit. It's already credited to your account, and it'll come off at the end. So this is what I need for you to know before you sign that contract. That's the standard 2T contract we use in North Carolina real estate. Remember these three things. Okay. One, the fee is negotiable. So you remember during the pandemic, people were paying thousands of dollars in due diligence. And depending on the area, you know, you can get away with a little bit of due diligence money. It just depends on the area. So that's something that you and I can discuss. However, uh, uh, in a slower market, it could be $500. In a hot market, people are paying $5,000 to $10,000 in due diligence money. But either way, if you pay 500 or 10,000, that fee is what? Say it with me, non-refundable. Okay. Number two, you got to watch the clock. So due diligence, we have a set amount of time, and it usually ends at 5 o'clock on whatever date you set. So if we get in the contract today and we say we need a due diligence of 3 weeks, on that day, 3 weeks from now, at 5 o'clock, your due diligence period is over. Okay. So now at 5:01, your earnest money is now at risk. If you didn't give any earnest money, okay, but your earnest money is now at risk at 5:01. So if you're going to back out of a contract, it is best, especially when you have earnest money on the line, it is best to back out of the contract during due diligence. Number three, get your inspections done. So schedule your inspections the moment you go under contract, depending on how much time you have. I got a two or three that I really kind of piggyback off of, and normally we can get your inspection scheduled within a couple of days, just depending on the inspector schedule. But get that done first, because this is what's going to determine whether you continue with the purchase or whether you back out. So please get that. So the bottom line, this is the bottom line. Due diligence is the cost of walking away. That's all it boils down to. The contract says you can go for a reason or no reason at all. You can walk away. Line, due diligence is the cost of walking away, and the earnest money is the cost of walking away too late. Okay. So remember, due diligence is what? Non-refundable. The earnest money is refundable, but only up to a certain point. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much. And if you're curious about what a normal due diligence fee looks like in your area, your city that you're thinking of purchasing in, please drop a comment with your zip code and I'll see what I can find out for you. All right. Thank you again for stopping by Homes by Keisha today, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.